Awesome. All right. So this time's what? In great shape. Went to the house. I don't really have any issues to complain about. A few nitpicky things, but nothing major that stands out as a big red flag. It's only a 2-year-old structure on a crawl space, and there's no issues with what's going on. So I just started on the outside today. Worked my way around. Do have some subsurface drains. Everything looked fine with them, but I always have to keep an eye on them, especially during a heavy rain. Make sure I don't see water bubbling up and down. Other than that, just kind of leave them alone. That's what I'm talking about right there. These little drains around the yard. Everything looked fine with electrical, meter base grounding, so no problems there. It's at the right side exterior. Coming around to the rear, everything looked great with the deck structure. It's nice. It's a really beefy and sturdy deck, especially for, it's not crazy high, but they built it like it's like a high deck, so it's not going anywhere.
Great.
So structurally it looks fine. Everything looks great underneath. It's just me shots as I go around. I always document just different corners in case I need to refer to anything later on. So this looks like around some kind of a septic system on the left side of the home. That is a sealed system right now, so that's beyond the scope of what I do. But I do look at anything from the exterior. There's something that says, hey, something's going on out here. That's the heat pump. So there's no gas to the structure, so everything's electric here. And everything looks fine with it. It's a train unit. I have no issues with this condenser unit. And everything looked great with the interior components, nice and clean, nothing crazy going on. So everything looks fine with the HVAC. Going on the roof, they do have gutter toppers. Now there's a few sections that are kind of missing these little gaps at the rear here, so that can still fill the gutter because you are surrounded by this vegetation. So I would highly recommend to, there's gaps to put some gutter guard material in, or you'll be up there 3 times a year cleaning them out. The roof itself looked great. Climbed on. It's architectural shingles, so depending on your manufacturer, it's a 25 or 30 year roof, and you're only 2 years in, and there's not one little issue with the roof whatsoever.
Perfect.
So that's what it looks like up there as I kind of navigate around. And I have better shots. I took on my phone for just a wider angle lens, so you'll have better shots. There's a chimney, some metal flue pipe, and the cap looked great. The enclosure looked good. Rain cap looked fine. Fireplace is ready to rock. So that's what it looks like up there. Now you do have the gutter guards, but that doesn't mean you don't get stuff on top of them, so you still have to sweep them off every now and then, just so they do their job. But most of them look like they're clear. But when I said like missing some sections, like you said, like I'm kind of missing a little piece there, they can still allow debris into the gutter. You have one hitting another corner, and then you have, I'm above the deck here, so you can actually see a whole section are just missing at this little corner here. So that's what I'm talking about, adding additional. And there you go, so that's the roof. Jumped in the crawl space, came inside, ran some water, and then jumped under the crawl space. So they do have what we call a closed or encapsulated crawl space, or partially closed. There's different levels you can go to. So this isn't like the maximum that you can do, but they do have a full coverage moisture barrier. They have sealed the foundation vents around the perimeter of the home.
I saw that. I went in the crawl space. I was like, okay.
And that's what they're doing. So they've added a dehumidifier, and we'll talk about that when I get to it. But from the structural side, the foundation walls look good, the piers look great, and all the floor framing in between looks fine. Full coverage back fiberglass insulation, so everything looks great down below. So these are the shots that I'm talking about. That's the closed vents right here. And if you do see this green spray, that's just a termite treatment that they put in when it was during the initial construction. So I did not see any termite bait stations or anything of that nature on the perimeter of the home. So that is also our recommendation. I'm not sure if you're familiar what those are, but there's little green or black pucks that have spikes that go flush into the ground. They have a poison on the inside. So since, like I said earlier, you got all this vegetation, all this wooded material. So it means you have a higher chance of termites. So at least the bait stations kind of add another kind of invisible barrier around the house.
Okay.
But yeah, full coverage moisture barrier, and these are just general shots as I go around. It looks great down there. And it's a very easy crawl space to navigate. You don't have all this ducting, a lot of plumbing in your way. So if any type of repairs or just general viewing or maintenance, it's really easy to get around there. This is the moisture readings I take. I take it at all 4 corners and somewhere in the middle of the wood moisture, not the ambient air moisture, but the wood moisture. And it's in the green, and green is great. So it's exactly where it needs to be. For crawl space moisture levels. This is just under the front porch. You can see the metal formwork where the concrete sits on top of on each side, so no problems there. Don't care about that. And then we have just more general shots, just to give you an idea. Nice big beefy drop girder, looks great. All the plumbing, supply and drainage looks great, no problems. And just kind of coming back into a big circle, and I can see where I started over here as I work my way out. Now they did add some of these crawl space lights, and they're great for illuminating the crawl space. I like it, but it is also technically an extension cord. So just, you don't want to have an extension cord for permanent wiring long term, because it can deteriorate over time because it's in an unconditioned space. Now, is anything gonna happen to it? Probably not, unless it's like directly exposed to the weather. But whenever someone's periodically down there, it doesn't hurt to look at the condition of the wiring every so often.
Okay.
So there's a dehumidifier. I'm gonna have to research this. I did get the data plate. Just wanna make sure it's rated for exterior crawl space use. You don't want to just get a dehumidifier from Target that's meant for like an inside of a house. Because you don't want to overload a system that's not meant for it. Usually you have one of those more square, bigger, boxier types. So I just wanna verify that it's the correct type of dehumidifier, or it's gonna run nonstop. But it's working now, and it's actually vented or drained plumb to the exterior, so you don't have to worry about where the water's gonna go. It just goes out. So crawl space looks good. There's another moisture reading just to re-verify what it is, and it's still in that low zone, so just overall happy with the moisture levels. I went and looked at the well. The well is at the front left corner of the yard under that faux rock, fiberglass rock. All the equipment's all out front, so you don't have like a bladder tank here and then the equipment over here. It's all self-contained in this one spot. And
Okay.
so this is everything here. That's a humongous bladder tank, by the way. Everything looked great with the well. Wellhead looks good. Venting like it should. This is the data plate information. I'll pull it off and it will be in the report itself. I haven't had a chance to study it yet just due to time constraints, but that's where I put like the casing depth and the yield and stuff like that. That's just the electronic, the pressure switch. I took the cover off to make sure our electronic components look great. It does, so there's no problems there. Just keep an eye on this conduit right here. It just I kind of wanted to back out a little bit, and I kind of tucked it back in, but when it slides out, it exposes the wires. And I just don't want to make sure any critters that get in there don't start gnawing on things.
Question. So could they use some type of sealant or just like electrical tape?
There's different things you can use. I'd almost want like a bigger piece of conduit, because every time I push this in, let me back it up, it wants to start pull that one out. So then I push that back in, so I'm like, I need it to be like this much longer.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, there's different things. You could potentially like throw some tape on it to kind of just give it a little bit more adhesive to kind of give tension to keep it tight in there. Bladder tank itself looked great, so there's no problems there. That's just information. That's your main water shutoff through the home, is this little blue valve right here. Blue handle, I should say. So if you need to shut water off to the home, that's how you do it right there. It's just a little quarter turn.
Okay.
This is when I actually take the well reading itself. I start off with my initial PSI is at 46 PSI, and for wells, you don't want them below 40 or above 60. So it's,
Hold on, guys.